Hey kid, do you want to see a movie where dumb rich buttheads are actually held accountable for their actions?
Yeah!
Let's go!
Woo!
You ready to talk some movies, Brennan?
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's go! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth!
Hi, welcome to the Corrupted Youth Podcast. I'm always Dan for some reason.
I'm usually Brennan.
And we're a father and son duo that explores the latest blockbusters, classic genre films, and the schlockiest of golden age VHS rental store flicks in spoiler-heavy fashion.
That's right.
Wow, it's been a while.
Yeah.
We haven't recorded in, 2 months?
Yeah.
Because just the way everything, we recorded an episode earlier, and we just took some time off, and it was really nice, but we just started to miss.
It's strange. It's like the natural clock in your brain is like, you should be recording a podcast right now.
All right. It's all right, though. We're here now.
Yay.
And this was your month.
Mm-hmm.
So fun stuff ahead. Just a couple things first. Ooh, yeah. Because I want to say that I did a guest spot during our time off. And I was on the podcast Under the Stairs, hosted by Duncan McLeish. And I was on 2 episodes of his summer series, which was Horror Head to Head. And that was where, we each got a movie. So there was 4 guest hosts, and he just kind of supervised us. And we all just discussed in a courtroom style thing to support our movie. And it was a few different directors and different movies of theirs that were randomized. And it was a lot of fun.
That sounds like fun.
I had a blast.
Go give that a listen.
Yeah, please do. Listen to the whole series because the whole concept is really fun.
Yeah, that's a fun idea.
Yeah, and it's a cool podcast anyway. So, been a long time listener of that. Probably since before we started ours.
Dang.
Even. So, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, geez.
But, yeah, aside from that, Brennan, what are we covering?
We are covering Action Jackson.
Ooh.
Yeah, for 1988.
First time viewing for you, I'm guessing.
First time viewing. I'm guessing not first time for you?
No, this one made the cable circuit when I was younger.
Boy.
So it was on HBO or Cinemax or
Yeah.
Showtime or something like that. And I don't know, when I was growing up, action movies, the thing is, and that's part of the reason, with this podcast too, is that when I was growing up, as a family, it was a family activity. I'd go to my grandma's house and we would just watch action movies a lot and horror movies, and nothing was really off limits. So this was definitely one that would have been watched a lot because it was just fun action movie. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, did I already say too much? But yeah, I've seen it a few times. Surprisingly enough, though, didn't really remember most of this movie.
Well, that's good. I'm sure there was a lot of surprises.
There was some surprises, yeah. And then it would be like, oh yeah, okay, I kind of remember this now, in bits and pieces here and there. But for the most part, really just kind of refreshing to see it again.
I know I could never forget Carl Weathers' rippling muscles.
How can anyone?
Yeah.
What a gift he gave us.
For real. Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah. And you know what? Okay, so this is probably getting into it a little too much, but he kind of charms this movie a lot.
Yeah. He makes this movie.
Yeah, his acting is pretty good for the material. I gotta say that. It elevates this movie.
Yeah.
Anybody else in this movie would not be as good.
He feels like one of the only real characters in the movie.
Well, he might be the only real character.
Yeah, that is true. Very true.
To some degree, but yeah, he just, he just brings it in this, and he
Mhm.
really just elevates the material.
Yeah. Not to
So,
mention the action scenes, he really performs well.
yeah,
Doing
Yeah.
some really, like, you can tell, like, it's him doing some of the stuff. I don't know if he did everything that they showed him doing on screen, if they use a stunt double, but how can you really find another guy that looks like him?
right.
Except they do in the movie, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things we could kind of dig deep into this a little bit if you really start thinking about this movie.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Letterboxd info? You got
Letterboxd
that?
info, yeah. Action Jackson is directed by Craig R. Baxley. I don't know him for anything else. Do you?
Yeah. So he did like second unit director stuff on Predator
Mm.
and a bunch of other movies. He's like I think he was a stunt guy.
Oh,
I should
that's kinda
probably
cool.
know that for sure or not, but yeah, I mean he did some episodes of the A-Team. He directed let's see here. Yeah, because he's credited as having some stunts. I'm sorry, I'm on something else looking. So yeah, he's been around the action scene, and the action is good in this. I mean, you'd have to if the name of your movie is Action Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see quick what else if there's something. I mean, he did like some Stephen King TV miniseries, Rose Red. He did that. Kingdom Hospital's another Stephen King adaptation for TV. So yeah, I mean, he's done some stuff. And it's not, I wouldn't say this movie's bad for direction.
No,
So yeah, he did a job.
he definitely did. Let's see the description they have here on Letterboxd. Vengeance drives a tough Detroit cop to stay on the trail of a power-hungry auto magnate who's systematically eliminating his competition.
Yep.
Yep.
I got to bring up the writer quick.
Hmm.
He wrote Demolition Man,
Haha. Okay.
and he wrote some Tales from the Crypt. He wrote this movie, obviously, and The Hitchhiker, the TV series. He wrote an episode for that. So not a lot of credits. He's allegedly friends with Shane Black, who wrote Predator.
Mm.
But this guy's career is a bit of a black hole because I don't know. I don't know if this guy's a real person or if Shane Black just used a pseudonym. It's weird because there's just a couple things.
Yeah, that is interesting.
But anyways, carry on with your info.
For cast, we obviously have the late great Carl Weathers as Sergeant Jericho Jackson, otherwise known as Action Jackson. We got Craig T. Nelson as the bad guy Peter Delaplane. Does a pretty good job playing a bad guy.
Yeah.
We have Vanity playing Vanity.
Pretty much. It's Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney. Sharon Stone as Patrice Delaplane. Let's see who else we got here.
I don't think it's going to come up later. They're not married. I don't know why she's listed as that because I don't think they're married
They're married.
in this movie.
Yeah.
He has another side piece and another wife.
He had a old wife, but she died, and then that was his new wife.
I don't know. They
And-
showed another woman who was like his wife.
No, the woman that they brought out near the beginning of the movie, that's her. That's his wife. And then there's also Sydney, but they're not married.
Okay.
I mean, her last name is Delaplane.
Okay, that's whatever. I'm not trying to argue about it.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for the cast. I don't really.
Well, we've got a couple other notable people in here.
Oh, notable for you, I suppose.
Well, you have Tom Wilson, who played, how they had the two patrol cops?
Yeah.
He was the white guy, and he played Biff Tannen in the Back to the Future movies.
Okay.
Yeah, he's currently a stand-up comedian.
Oh.
He made a funny song about being known for being Biff Tannen. Bill Duke's in this, who plays the chief. You remember him from Predator?
Oh, he is in Predator.
Yeah, he's in Predator. He's also in Mandy.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. Good to see him, though.
Yeah.
I liked him. Yeah, and then I guess another guy like Robert Davi's in this. He's known. I don't know. He's just the Italian guy.
Yeah.
I got the face.
Yeah.
Italian guy, character actor. So let's just talk about Vanity now.
Okay.
So Vanity kind of had this bit of a career happening in the 80s. She was discovered by Prince. So that was her claim to fame. That's why she plays a song in here, because she was also a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there's a lot of acting going on with her being drugged up in this movie. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
She did a lot of drugs.
Uh-oh.
And ended up getting out of drugs, but then replaced drugs with rampant religion.
Yeah, there's only two roads any sort of like celebrity can really go down these days. It's heavy drug usage or Christianity.
Well, yeah,
or one or the other.
There's one more thing, but that's kind of like...
Oh, yeah.
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 You know, I'm sure that'll get mentioned somewhere during this podcast.
Yeah.
Later on. I guess that's it, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, well,
movie time.
We've got this trailer we got to do first,
Oh,
Brennan.
Plug in the trailer machine. Can someone get this gnome out of here?
Oh, there's a gnome stuck in the trailer machine.
Why do they call you Action anyway?
Got to catch a cab. Now I got you.
He's a cop who carries no weapon.
This Jackson is so vicious, we don't even let him have a gun.
He's a maverick who answers to no one.
Good night, till that boy's arm off.
He had a spare.
He's a man who's no talk
I bet I can make you change your mind.
and all action.
How do you like your ribs?
The indefatigable Action Jackson.
The one big fella.
Some action.
You haven't learned your lesson.
Teach me.
You sure could teach Mr. T a thing or two.
So allow me to lay my healing hands upon you. What do you want from me?
I want you to die.
1, 2, 3.
When it calls for action, he's the one to call.
If I was to hit you again, you'd probably slam my little body right through that wall. I was thinking about it.
Carl Weathers is Action Jackson, and action is on the way.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Oh, that trailer, man.
Action-packed.
Action-packed. I'm sure there was explosions in there.
There was explosions in there because you watched that trailer.
I mean, yeah, there was explosions in there. Very exciting stuff. So our movie picks up. We are in Detroit. Pretty fun location. Also known for RoboCop.
Yep.
And cars. And they make cars there.
We have two things. Cars, RoboCop, Action Jackson.
Yeah, throwing Action Jackson in there. I'm trying to see the Action Jackson RoboCop team-up movie.
You know what? I would love that.
That would be really amazing, actually.
This should have been a franchise, just saying.
This should have been.
It should have gotten a sequel. I'm just going to throw that out right now.
Yeah. I want more of this. But we open up in Detroit. There's a business guy and businesswoman. And they are discussing business things. And he's just like, oh, why don't you relax for the night? Blah, 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 blah. Business, business, business.
let me creep on you because that's just what your boss does in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole like shoulder rubbing, like ugh.
It was icky.
But it is soon interrupted by the loudest noise to ever play through my speakers as all these guys come crashing through the window of the building they're in. And they like run up to the lady and like kick her through like a window, and she just falls on the floor dead. Just could not handle that kick through the window. She dies, and the guy freaks out and he grabs his gun. But where did all the bad guys go? They're all gone. They're like ninjas.
This is a group of unmasked white ninjas.
Yes.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
This movie needed more of them.
It really did need more.
There's not enough of these villains.
Because this opening is actually pretty fun, the way that they show off like their kind of gimmick. Because this guy just starts like freaking out because one second he's sitting there, the next second there's a bunch of people attacking him, the next second they're just all gone, and he's got his little handgun out, and he just starts shooting like everything in the room, just freaking out, shooting everything, and the clip on his pistol is bottomless. It seems he just unloads into the room.
Well, that's a good 80s trope for you there.
Oh, definitely.
Who's got time to reload?
Nobody. That's why you have a clip that has 30 rounds. It was like every burst he did was like 6 shots. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so then he tries making a break for it, and he gets to the elevator, and he's like waiting on the elevator to come down, and one of the bad guys turns the corner, and he's got a grenade launcher. I love grenade launchers in movies.
Don't forget, this guy also gets a knife in the hand.
Oh, that's right.
From
yeah.
the bemulleted white ninja.
Yeah. Love a good knife in the hand. And it like stuck his hand to a door too. Great trope. I love when that happens. But this dude, this Mr. Businessman, eats a grenade launcher shot right to the chest, and we get an amazing flaming dude flying out of a window, crashing through a skylight, like a sunroof sort of deal, and then slamming right on the ground in front of like a bunch of people like eating.
I was on board.
Yeah.
I was so giddy.
Oh my God, yeah.
What a great flaming dude.
Great flaming dude. I mean, like fake flaming dude some of the time, like it was just like a dummy they had on fire. But then other times for the shots of him falling, you could tell it was a real flaming dude. Really falling.
Fantastic.
Flailing his limbs. Great. That's amazing. Yeah. Amazing start.
Yeah, and then it just goes into the credits montage of Detroit things. Like auto workers.
Yeah.
Some light police racism on public transit. And then also a song by the Pointer Sisters.
Yeah. Didn't they make that song for this movie?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're also in it briefly.
Are they?
Yeah, they just have a super quick cameo.
Oh.
But the Pointer Sisters are kind of like a Menudo almost, where you just rotate members through.
Oh, sure.
Like, I don't know if there's an original Pointer Sister anymore. There might be.
Huh.
But yeah.
Interesting. Fun song, I guess. That's all right. And then after that beautiful montage of the amazing city of Detroit, I'm sorry to any dongles that live in Detroit. And I do mean that. I am sorry that you live in Detroit.
The movie It Follows happens in Detroit. And you never know because that movie is super white. So yeah, there are white people in Detroit.
So we get these 2 cops, Cop 1 and Cop 2. What are their names?
I don't know. I didn't get their names. They're just patrol cops.
Yeah, patrol cops.
What I was calling them. They're just kind of like, the movie just kind of goes to them every once in a while, or they show up.
Yeah.
And I guess it's for some levity. They're kind of comic relief.
Guess? But there's just like this guy walking down the street, and they're talking about him. They're saying like, oh, it's like he dressed up like he's a robber or something. They make some joke. How do you look anything more like a robber? But this kid goes sneaking up behind this lady to go snatch her purse. And the cops aren't even like trying to stop this. They're just kind of watching it happen. and he grabs the purse and immediately just gets slammed on the ground by the lady, and she starts smacking him with the bag. And then we get that the young thief in the back of the patrol car, and the cops are telling him about who he's gonna have to go see. He's gonna have to go see Action Jackson, and they're telling him all these terrible things that Action Jackson does.
Yeah, I was thinking of taking a clip of it. So if I make a clip of that, we'll play it right here.
What's your name?
Albert Smith.
Albert, your mother and father weren't by any chance brother and sister, were they?
Hey, man, what's gonna happen to me? Oh, nothing. Nothing much. You might have to endure a little session with Action Jackson.
Who's Action, Albert. Action Jackson.
Yeah, some say he didn't even have a mother. That some researchers at NASA created him to be the first man to walk on the moon without a spacesuit. Others say his mother was molested by Bigfoot, and Jackson is their mutant offspring.
They bring in Jackson when they want to re-educate some young ne'er-do-well, such as yourself, Albert.
Yeah, I remember one kid got re-educated so bad, his testicles climbed back up into his belly, wouldn't come out.
They called it a medical miracle.
Yeah. Another kid, handcuffed to a chair, gnawed his own hand off like a trapped skunk or Wolverine or something.
Jackson is so vicious, we don't even let him have a gun.
Is he here?
Yeah, sometimes he gets so riled up, you gotta use one of those Wild Kingdom tranquilizer darts. That's just to keep him in his chair.
Come on. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on?
Where is he? Where is he?
Keep your dick on, kid. They're probably just cleaning out his cage.
But I did like the one line of from the one cop where he says, "Keep your dick on, kid."
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty great. Yeah, this kid's shaking in his boots too. And the stories that they're telling are like ridiculous too.
Possibly true though.
I know. Yeah, that was kind of the weird part is you almost think that they're telling lies just to scare the kid, but then some of it is actually true. But yeah, they get to the precinct, the police headquarters, and they're bringing the little thief in, getting his paperwork done, and the cops are talking to who I can only assume is a sex worker.
Yeah, and then they have like the weird hand job, and she's like, "I'll give you a foot job."
Yeah. Oh.
And it's but then she just kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah.
And that's when the purse snatcher just is like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah, tries to make a break for it. And we get fun like cops being bumbling idiots and like tripping over themselves trying to catch this guy. And in all that commotion as he's trying to get away, he knocks a bunch of coffee down on like all these papers on his desk. And he slowly looks up and sees that the name plate on the desk is Jackson. And he looks up and there's Carl Weathers looking very angry at him. And the poor kid just passes out right there on the spot.
That was funny.
That was funny. Yeah, this thief character I really like, actually.
Okay, so we also get the introduction of the chief.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Duke playing the chief. Did you catch his name? It's on the door and it's on his little placard on the desk.
No, what is it?
It's Earl Armbuster.
Earl Armbuster?
Yeah.
That's the coolest name I've ever heard.
Armbuster is a fantastic last name.
Armbuster's amazing.
It never gets like said.
Yeah.
But it's just there. And I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I know what kind of movie I'm in.
And we get this nice conversation between Armbuster and Jackson where they can dump out a decent amount of exposition about how Jackson, he was like Mr. Action Jackson. He had like his partner and they would get up to all sorts of, cop adventures.
But also, Action Jackson has a Harvard law degree.
Yeah, they mentioned that too.
which does come up in a little bit, but hey, that's fun little character building.
It is, yeah.
Does he need it? Well, he should know better about breaking the law as a cop.
He really should. But he just loves the law that much that he's willing to break it.
Why did you make me hurt you, law?
He's got an abusive relationship with the law.
I love you so much, but sometimes I have to do it. You just make me.
You give me no choice.
I love justice so much.
Yeah, he's definitely not like a perfect cop because
No.
the chief is talking about how the bad guy, what's his name? Delaplane, the bad guy, his son apparently did something pretty heinous, some sort of like sexual assault.
Yeah, it was
something bad.
Something bad sex crime.
Yeah, the bad, definitely to the point where Jackson just like has a super short temper on this subject, like just hates this kid. And his dad, the bad guy too.
He ripped the kid's arm off,
Yeah,
allegedly.
that's what the chief was saying. Yeah.
I don't know if that was a literal thing.
I don't think so because Jackson just replies, he has a spare.
That's true.
Yeah, that was kind of... You ripped his arm off? They said ripped his arm off, too.
Yeah, and all of this cost Action Jackson his rank.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lieutenant, and he got bumped down to sergeant. And his marriage.
And his gun license. He can't carry a gun as an officer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So he goes through most of this movie without a gun, which I think is a really fun plot for a cop movie. Like, he's going to have to do all these crazy cop stuff without his gun.
He's just going to have to rely on his natural guns, which he's got them.
I think I'm a little more scared of those things than an actual gun.
Man, he's just ripped in this movie.
Oh my God, yeah. He's humongous.
Because this is well after his him playing Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a mountain.
Yeah, he's a burly dude.
They throw him in a bunch of like super tight shirts.
I don't think there is a shirt that he's just not going to be wearing tight.
That is true. That's very true. Yeah, he's got to be careful. If he flexes too hard, I know that whole thing would just turn into shreds. It's just like, poof.
It'd be like the transformation scene on the Incredible Hulk.
Oh,
where he just like flexes through a shirt.
Yeah. We also get a nice little bit here where the thief kid is going through processing and he looks over and sees Jackson and just passes out again.
Yeah. So, okay. Before we forget, the whole reason he's talking to the chief is because the chief can't go to some charity event.
Yeah.
That the villain is at. I can't remember. I just wrote down Peter because that's his first name.
Mm-hmm.
So Evil Peter.
Evil Peter.
Evil Peter is going to be there too. And that's why Action Jackson does not want to go to this charity event.
Mm-hmm. And the chief said that he couldn't go because he forgot that it was his wife's like random event.
Like birthday or something.
Yeah, something random like that.
Well, that's the thing. Men just always forgetting about their wives' birthdays.
So we get to see Jackson at this party. And it's a party for Detroit Businessman of the Year, I believe it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, or at least where they're giving out that award. And of course, it's Delaplane, Evil Peter, that wins the award. He wins the award for Businessman of the Year. And you could see Jackson watching this. He's not really cool about any of it. And this very lovely lady comes up to him, and they have a brief little chat, just talking about how annoying Delaplane is.
Yeah, a very young Sharon Stone at this time.
Yeah.
This was before, I don't think she really got noticed with acting until Total Recall in 91.
Oh, she was in Total Recall?
Yeah, because she played Arnold's fake wife or possibly real wife, depending on how you want to view that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really kind of launched her career. I mean, it doesn't hurt that Sharon Stone is like a beautiful woman too.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah. But she is married, turns out, to Evil Peter because he invites her on stage to talk. Which great. Of course the evil business guy gets the super foxy young lady.
You know, the thing is too is that the trope of the 80s corporate slime ball really makes me wonder, how did we get to where we are in the world now? Where, you know, one of the worst offenders of that ended up getting quite the position of power. And he literally is just one of these villains from one of these movies.
Yeah.
He was never a good person. And I don't understand how we got here. Because we all had, like, the slobs versus snobs.
Yeah.
Huge thing in movies. What a trope. Because you're always rooting for the underdog. And you always want the little guy to win. And rich people are terrible.
Yeah.
And now we don't have that anymore. Everybody is just sucking up the billionaires. Like, you're going to be their crony or something. Or what, you're going to be a billionaire someday?
Right. Do you know that, like, I think there's some statistic that, like, every billionaire under the age of 50 or something like that didn't earn all of it, was basically born into it.
Well, you know, okay, so the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
That's a fallacy. That's not true, because everybody starts off on a different level in life.
Yeah.
And you don't have a choice. You're just born into it.
Yeah. Also, the term pull yourself up by your bootstraps isn't a real thing. That term was invented because you cannot pull yourself up from your bootstraps. That is an impossible thing to do. And they turn that saying into like, just got to work harder.
Yeah. Well, man, I can't believe we're going on this tangent. But it is just a thing to get people to just work harder and not question it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, work yourself to the point of death if you can, because, you know, you're going to get it back. If you work hard, it's going to come back to you. No, it really doesn't most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes hard work does pay off.
Uh-huh.
But for a lot of people, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
You just break your back your entire life, and then maybe you get to retire when you're old.
If you're lucky.
And then you just die.
Mm-hmm. It's a circle of life.
For what?
Circle of life. Gotta love it here.
Meanwhile, some a-hole is buying a mega yacht.
His second mega yacht.
But it's like, okay, so I had this job, and it was a corporate job, and we did really well. Our marketing was going through the roof, right? And they said, we are having an outstanding year. This is shattering records for online sales. All thanks to you folks. All they did, and I know this is in itself is a trope.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza party. They threw us a pizza party, and they wouldn't give us more than 2 slices of pizza.
Oh, what?
And on top of it, we were gunning to get some type of either like a bonus or better raises, just to even make the average, just even the state average for what our jobs were. And they were like, no freaking way. That's never going to happen. So, yay.
I just love capitalism.
I love it here.
Yeah.
Isn't it great?
Isn't it great?
So, you know, maybe that's part of why we have these movies and everything, is to also create this idea for the common person that, you know what, you have heroes out there who represent you, and look at these corporate bad guys. They are always just going to get what's coming to them.
Yeah.
So just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think we unlocked something here. Everybody's tuned out. When did corrupted youth get political?
We've always been political.
We always have been.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So where are we in this movie?
So we're at the part where Evil Peter and his wife, they're at the party, and his wife sees Mr. Jackson, and
oh, he just gets done talking to some rich guy.
Yeah.
Or like studious type person.
Yeah.
And they're having a conversation about law.
Like some legal conversation. Yeah.
Which was pretty great.
That was fun. And I like how it ended too, because he asked him, what do you think about Mr. Evil Peter? And Jackson was just so honest. It's like, I think he's I forget what he says, but he calls him like what he is, a corporate a-hole, money grabbing loser.
Yeah.
But Mr. Evil Peter gets brought over by his wife to, meet Jackson, even though they have met before, because, Jackson ripped his son's arm off. And they have a very nice and sweet, heartfelt conversation where they insult each other a lot. And that's part of the thing I really like about this movie is Jackson's dialogue is really funny. His comebacks and his jokes and his insults are great.
And Carl Weathers delivers it with ease.
Mm-hmm.
He is so comfortable playing this character.
Yeah.
And it is kind of hard though to take Craig T. Nelson as a villain. He does well, but it's hard to just accept him as the villain because he played like the dad in Poltergeist.
That's what he also did. That entire movie I was watching.
He was on Coach, the TV sitcom Coach, for ages. I don't even remember how long that show was on.
I'm guessing playing like a super nice coach.
Yeah, he was just kind of like, I'm just Coach, He's just the coach. I don't know how else to describe him. Sports ball guy, who just has like decent life and maybe learns a little bit here and there and just it's all good.
What an exciting show.
I didn't like Coach. Sorry, Craig T. Nelson.
Sorry to any Coach fans listening.
Nah. Eat a dog turd, Coach fans.
I'm going to get you a big Coach poster for your office.
Oh, but then we get some tension with the bodyguard because he's got the big burly bodyguard. Oh no. He's just in the background. He's that guy. The this kind of skullety Asian guy. Who's in like every movie in the 80s.
Oh yeah, I definitely recognize him.
Who not really in this movie, kind of a waste.
Yeah.
Barely in it. Oh, speaking of super yachts though, we get this rich a-hole on a boat when the white ninjas show up.
Yeah. I liked on the yacht, it's like the guy, I'm guessing he's the captain. He's kind of dressed like the captain or something. And he's talking to one of the other guys on the boats, and they're just telling all these like terrible jokes, terrible in every version of the word.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, it's not even worth getting into because these guys just get axed pretty quick.
It feels pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I did like the one guy gets like a harpoon, or maybe it's like an arrow through his chest, and he goes, "Hum!" Like he makes that noise. And the guy next to him goes, "Oh, I got some medicine if you got a stomach ache." And he looks over and he's like, "What the?" But these bad guys are making their way through the boat, and of course, the guy that they're after, whatever corporate guy with power, they don't explain very well.
No, you just know auto industry guy,
and he's important.
That's all you need to know about any of these people who get killed is that they're auto industry guys.
Yeah.
Just like Evil Peter is an auto industry guy.
Yeah.
Just like in the description of this movie where it said that he's eliminating them.
So, dude's just chilling in his boat. And of course, because, you know, this is a thing that people totally do all the time, he just had classical music just cranked in there so he could barely hear anything.
How about that cell phone, though?
Oh, that cell phone is great. Great cell phone. Scream 1988. Someone comes knocking on the door, and of course he does the come back another time. Knocks again. Busy sitting here listening to classical music really loud.
And business.
Numbers.
Business.
And he opens up the door, and there's no one there. And right as he's looking around, the bad guy hits him with a slick move where he turns the corner and handcuffs a briefcase to his hand and then just dips. And evil corporate guy starts freaking out. He opens up the briefcase, and of course it's a bomb in there. And of course there's like 10 seconds left. And yeah, all he can get out is a scream before we get a pretty cool explosion.
Great boat explosion. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty sick. Oh, we get the Haley car ad after this.
Mm-hmm.
I love that ad. It's very RoboCop.
It was.
Just the way it looked and everything.
How does it go? Is it like hot, hotter, hottest? Something like that?
But if it was like supposed to be like Haley's Comet, comets are cold.
Yeah. Yeah, they're big balls of ice.
But I guess it doesn't really matter.
No.
Boy, weird that there would just be a fun car ad in this. Whatever.
I'm sure it won't come up later.
No, we'll never see that car again.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because there's on the news, they have the report of the explosion, and then they explain that it was an auto industry guy in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it does get confirmed. And then, Action Jackson gets a call, and it's just funny how he just does I'm just acting on the phone. He just gets a phone call.
Yeah.
And he's got to go see Tony. Weird that they just give this Italian guy the name Tony.
Tony, huh?
He's just like completely strung out.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, he pulls up to his apartment. There's just trash everywhere. He's in like a dirty wife beater with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Total like 5 o'clock shadow going on. And immediately Jackson's like, oh my God, you look terrible, Tony. Yeah, but Tony's like freaking out.
Because he's like, I'm an auto industry guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get whacked.
Yeah, they're coming after me. He's even like threatening to like shoot himself. Like, whoa, bro, calm down. Jackson's like, all right, let's talk about this here. Let's talk about what's going on. And yeah, Tony finally gets around to talking about how he thinks that Mr. Peter, Evil Peter, is one by one killing off people that oppose him in the union, the auto industry union, and that he would be next, you know.
Yeah, it's just a shame he has no proof.
No proof, yeah. Burden of proof, gotta hate it.
Even though Action Jackson's like, well, I don't like this guy. Let's figure it out.
Yeah. I'll follow
I'm
this
on
lead.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Vanity at Club Elite.
You get to see her perform like half a song.
Yeah, Peter's the only one watching, which makes it gross and weird. And doesn't he have other business to do?
Right. Just sitting in the shadows, too.
I mean, I guess he's an active dude or something. I don't know. He's like clearly having sex with Vanity.
Yeah.
And also Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Or we should say Sydney. Sydney and Patrice.
Patrice, yeah. Nah. You could tell.
Why would a rich guy have a mistress? Why do you need a mistress?
Because why not?
Because, I mean, you're already like, I don't know, you're already with sexy Sharon Stone.
Yeah. Debatably like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And then you got to get Vanity, who's also like another 10.
Yeah. Because they're horrible people.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They just can't get enough power, money, influence.
I suppose it makes them feel good about
Oh,
themselves.
definitely. Yeah. And you can tell that Vanity is not singing this on stage. It is lip synced. I've seen better lip sync on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Absolutely.
Not the worst, but yeah.
It could have been well, no, I don't want to get into like what it could have been this.
Yeah. So Mr. Peter, what the hell is this even?
Evil Peter.
Evil Peter. Evil Peter is like, all right, come on, Vanity. Let's go upstairs or whatever. And here we really get to meet the bodyguard, Mr. E.
I didn't catch his name.
I think it was like Mr. E or something like that.
This dude's just solid.
Huge man.
I mean, does he have a neck?
No.
I think his
No
head
way.
just grows into his body.
Or maybe he's only neck.
He's just one giant neck muscle.
Yeah, with like arms and legs popping out. But yeah, you can tell that he's pretty protective over Vanity. And Evil Peter kind of notices that, I think, and questions him on it and is like, yeah, who do you work for again? Like, who pays your checks?
Yeah, don't worry about what we're gonna do now.
Yeah, Mr. Bodyguard. So Vanity and Evil Peter go up to their little suite, and we can pick up from the dialogue that Vanity is pretty much getting with him mostly to secure herself like a record deal so that she can take off. A lot like real life.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Sadly, and yeah, then these men in positions of power take that and run with it and use it to their advantage.
Yeah, skeezy. Gross.
Very skeezy and gross. Not good practices.
No.
And that's why people get canceled, everybody, for not being good people.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves, pretty good person. Notice how no one's canceled him? Because he doesn't do anything bad. Because he's a good guy.
That we know of yet.
Yeah, that is true. It's very true.
But not that we want him to be. We don't want anybody. I don't want anybody to be terrible and hurt other people.
Exactly. In a perfect world, Diddy is a friend to all. Do you think Evil Peter had 1,000 bottles of baby oil up there? You saw that, right?
Why did you have to do that while I was taking a drink?
That's exactly why.
Water everywhere.
Like, do you think the police walked into Diddy's mansion and just went whoop and like slipped on the floor right away?
And then everybody is trying to get up and they can't.
Yeah.
And they're just slipping all over the place. Like,
Yeah. They're trying to get up the stairs and they're going like step by step and they just slide all the way down.
Here, let me give you a hand. Wow, no, jeez. Then somebody else comes in. Hey, is everything okay? Whoa! Slides across the floor.
Everyone's just sliding around. Everything's sliding around.
All those bottles just start falling off his shelves everywhere. Just dumping on everybody.
Do you think when Diddy goes into court, they're just going to open up the doors and just slide him in?
Oh, man.
Screw that guy.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Anyway, back to this. Back to this also evil rich man, but this one's fake. So
yeah,
it's a little bit better.
But he definitely wants to just keep feeding Vanity full of drugs.
Whichever drugs that is.
It's not anything specific.
Nope.
It is comically large syringe.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like a stem pack from Fallout.
Yeah. Also Vanity boobs.
Vanity boobs.
You know, I am very much I was surprised. And I'll just say for once I didn't mind. Normally I poo-poo on boobs in movies.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay,
All right. Yeah. I was
Okay,
pretty cool
movie.
with it. Yeah.
you get this one.
Plus, none of my roommates are around or anything, so. And I wasn't watching with you, so there's no awkward.
Yeah. So then, like, your mom or your sister doesn't just wander in.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. That's always the luck.
Always.
Yeah.
Never fails. That's why I was just yelling up the stairs. Hey, saw Vanity's boobs.
So.
We also have this whole bit with the APS guy who
Uh,
comes to deliver Tony a package,
yeah.
which is very ominous the whole time. But I'll be damned if Tony just doesn't look happy to be getting a package.
Right. That's what I was so confused about. Last time we met him, he was like strung out. Like he was losing it. Paranoid.
Maybe,
Someone knocks on his door and he's like, "Oh, I got a package. Yay."
yeah, oh, a package.
Yeah.
Surprise package for me.
He's like signing it. Oh, thanks.
And then just gets shot
Yeah.
right in the chest,
Yeah.
which apparently gets listed as a suicide. How?
Right.
Because everybody who wants to like unalive themselves with a gun just says, let's do it in the chest.
Right. Like at least Kurt Cobain's wife shot him in the head.
Allegedly. Not. Allegedly or allegedly not. I mean, she didn't get charged with any crime.
Right. But it was also like, I think the police chief said it was like one of the worst murder investigations that their department did ever. Like where he was murdered, she like redid the floor or something. Just like did all these changes before the crime scene investigators could actually like investigate.
I've never watched any of the documentaries on it, and I should, because
Yeah.
it's probably interesting. But unfortunately, didn't we get into that Rotten.com talking hole one time about, where my old boss at the tattoo shop would
Oh,
just
yeah.
call me in there, and yeah, it was like, hey, you want to see Kurt Cobain's photos? I'm like, no,
No.
I don't. Nah, no, I saw it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't need this in my life.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why I kind of don't want to watch any of the documentaries, because I don't see crime scene photos.
I don't want
like
to see
it.
that.
Makes me feel icky.
Yeah.
I like all my horrible violence to be gratuitous and fake.
Yeah. Speaking of crime scene photos too, Action Jackson totally realizing that Tony did not kill himself by shooting himself in the chest, and realizing that the stuff that Tony was talking about was probably true if he's dead now.
Yeah.
He pulls up on Evil Peter while he's eating dinner with his wife and RFK Jr. I don't know, he just kind of sounds like him. So
Listen, I don't want to make fun of the guy for his voice, but it's grating.
yeah, that's rough. That's rough trying to make it in politics where you have to talk a lot.
And if you have a problem, physical ailment, it gives you crazy voice. But also, he's got a worm in his head, and he is just, what a strange dude.
Very anti-vax. Very anti-vax.
He's problematic.
Thinks
to say the
that
least.
vaccines cause autism. Didn't he like pick up a dead like bear
Yeah.
cub?
Yeah, and he put it in his trunk
Yeah.
to eat for later,
Yeah.
but then went out to dinner and then
Went out to dinner in New York City.
Yeah.
New York City, like Manhattan.
didn't realize he didn't have time to eat the bear, so he just dumped the bear in Central Park.
Yeah.
And then the other time with the whale head
Yeah, he cut off a whale head, like a beached whale head.
and put it on top of the car and drove it home so he could get the skull. What? That's not normal behavior.
No. No.
Listen, dongles, if you're out there and you feel compelled to do any of these same things and you're like, well, RFK's really got it going on, I really like his style,
Yeah.
you should see a mental health professional
Mm-hmm.
and talk to them about it.
Maybe don't run for president.
Yeah.
You're
But-
not like, bro, put that cub carcass down.
But also, if you're in Wisconsin where he can't get off the ballot, keep in mind he wants to get off the ballot, but he's only saying that because it's a trick. He's just trying to make it seem like he doesn't want you to vote for him. So everybody who thought that he wasn't their guy anymore, go ahead and vote for him anyway. It was just a fake endorsement of the other dude. So just keep voting for RFK. I think he can. I think he's got a chance.
I think he can do it.
I think so.
He's pulling like 1-2% here in Wisconsin last time I checked.
Oh man, let's get that up to 13, everybody.
Oh, I love the U.S. election cycles. So much fun.
We're in a hellscape.
Yay! Over half my life has been Trump running.
Wow, really? It's been that long?
This is his third time running for president. So that's 12. It's 12 years.
This is like being in a time loop that is terrible.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's never ending cycle of just keeps coming back. It's never going to end. When are my neighbors going to stop putting out weird flags? Why?
When can we just love thy neighbor?
I liked it better when we didn't just have to compete with
when no one cared about
weirdos.
Politics.
Just remember when your 24-hour news was like C-SPAN? And it was boring. Those were the days. Like
Mom,
1988.
put on Transformers. Put on Transformers. Anyway, Jackson pulls up to the dinner with RFK Jr., Evil Peter, and his wife. and he has the crime scene photo of Tony all dead and shows it to Evil Peter and is like calling him out on it. Like, yeah, you know who this is? You know all about this, huh? Right? And of course, Evil Peter's just like being very disrespectful in return. Like just talking about how like, oh, well, this photo negative isn't the best, is it? Just like kind of ignoring it all. But I guess the important thing here is that he gets to meet the wife again, and she picks up on this guy Tony being killed. Kind of has an idea of what's going on. RFK Jr. is just looking for a dead animal to dissect. RFK Jr. is like, can I take that photo? Can I keep that? But
these photos are making me hungry.
What scene do we get after this?
Yeah, then we get to Evil Peter training at martial arts.
Oh, yeah.
And he breaks the trainer's arm, where this guy clearly in real life is far superior.
Oh, God, yeah.
But I get it. It's a movie. It's a movie. I was like, ooh, he's so tough.
I love characters just knowing kung fu. And like that just being like a really scary trope.
No, I'm just thinking if it was Trump trying to do karate, kung fu.
That would be amazing.
Even the young version of him would never happen.
Yeah.
We get some Sharon Stone boobs.
Yeah.
So, thanks, movie.
Pretty great. But she's going around the house and she overhears one of the bodyguard guys on the phone.
The guy who was in Swamp Thing. He plays the bodyguard in Swamp Thing.
Maybe it's the same character.
No, because he gets transformed into that little guy in Swamp Thing.
Oh.
After he takes the formula.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
Ooh. Yeah. Anyways, how about Return of Swamp Thing? Check out our episode on that.
Yeah. So, what's her nut overhears the phone call.
Just what's her nut?
And of course she hears the important bits of the conversation, like how Jackson got to Tony first, and but Tony couldn't tell him anything, and now Tony's taken care of, and blah blah blah. And she basically is piecing it together that, oh my God, my evil husband's killing people. And she's like, I gotta go tell my evil husband right away. So she goes running outside where he's waiting in his car about to leave, like on some phone call, just saying business like keywords.
Well, because he's on the phone, the murder phone call. And then when he notices her, he just starts talking business.
Yeah, just like random business words. But she's like, look, I really need to talk to you. Like, this is like actually important. Like, we need to talk like right now. And he's like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, the seconds you're taking to talk to me is worth this much money or whatever. And just completely blows her off. Even though she's clearly distressed. That is your wife. And she is distressed. She's saying, this will only take a second. I need, like, this is important. Like, I need to talk to you.
Well, she's as much of his wife as, you know, anything else he owns.
Yeah.
She's just property. I mean, let's just admit that.
Yeah. So she is pretty disgruntled, and she goes back into the mansion and starts making her way to leave. And the bodyguard comes up and does like are you going somewhere? Because he saw that she was listening in on that phone call. And he asked her like, oh, do you need a ride? And she's like, no. And she goes to leave. And who is showing up at this exact moment but Mr. Action Jackson himself? And his super sweet car, by the way.
He does have a sweet car.
Super sweet car. I couldn't tell you what kind of car it is.
I can't either. I'm not a car guy.
Not a car guy.
It's just a cool old car.
Oh, isn't it an Impala?
I don't know.
It's like a 66 Impala.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Dongle car guys.
Dongle car guys. Yeah.
Write in. Remind us what car that is.
Yeah.
corruptedyouthpod@gmail.com.
Please let us know.
Yeah. And we'll go, yep. Okay.
Well, that's a car.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us know what car it was.
Too bad it wasn't a station wagon. That would have been sick.
Action star from the 80s just driving the most backwards car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, speaking of which, we should do Cobra.
Cobra.
With Sylvester Stallone.
Oh.
He's got a cool car in that.
Okay. Yeah, you sold me. Sylvester Stallone. Cobra. That's a cool name. Cool car. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that one sometime.
All right. Hang in there, dongles. Coming up eventually. Maybe. At some point. Stay tuned.
Yeah, they go out for drinks.
Yeah. And there's this bit, the funniest part of this entire movie to me. So we get our little thief guy from earlier. Yeah. And he's walking down the street. He seems very happy. Like he's having a good time. And he comes like going down the stairs to like this restaurant, comes in the doorway and is like checking his hair in like the little mirror, and turns and he sees Jackson just sitting there, just sees like the back of his head, and he bolts through the door so fast, like so fast, like he's just gone. Oh, I legitimately like had to rewind and I watched that guy take off like 3 or 4 times, and it made me laugh every time. Just that like scared look he gets. He's just gone in a second.
It's a fun running gag.
Yeah, I agree. But what's her nut basically spills all the tea to Jackson, and helps him kind of put the pieces together of what's going on here.
What are you farting on?
I am farting. Because after that, then...
Yeah, they just have a conversation about it. And then they're like, okay, well, like, we're going to leave now.
Yeah.
And when they get out to the street, the taxi cab tries hitting them.
Yeah.
And then Action Jackson, who's fast as hell, catches up to that cab.
That was sick. Yeah, and the cab driver is just like playing like Crazy Taxi. That's all I could think of was Crazy Taxi. Like driving on the sidewalk and stuff.
With Action Jackson on top of the cab.
Yeah, like he like runs and jumps onto the cab.
But I like how even when he's on there, he's like, oh, this wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
You never have anybody do that in an action movie.
And the bad guy starts like shooting the ceiling. Great trope.
Yep, got to do that.
Mm-hmm. Or I also like a good like knife, you know, or someone's in like a a vent. Someone's like stabbing a knife through the vent. They do that in Paul Blart Mall Cop. Anyway,
Paul Blart, Mall Blart,
Action Blart. And Jackson just says like, enough's enough. He's just getting sick of getting shot at. He punches through the front windshield and tries like grabbing the wheel to like steer it. And the bad guy slams on the brakes. Jackson goes rolling off. And the bad guy has his gun pointed at him. But Jackson, I don't know if he knew that he was screwed and was just trying to talk his way out of it. But he's like, come on, man. Like, put that gun down. Like, I don't have a gun. I don't have a gun. Like, come at me. Come get me. And so the dude drives a taxi at him, gonna run him over. And Jackson does like a front flip or a back flip like over the taxi, which for some reason just confuses this guy enough where he doesn't realize he's driving into like oncoming traffic. And this taxi somehow hits a car and catches air and like flies into this building.
Okay, so about this building, I think it's the same location as where in The Naked Gun. So you know how it's like two businesses next to each other? Yeah. I think the one on the left was the fireworks factory. Remember when in The Naked Gun when the fireworks factory goes off and he's Frank Drebin's outside and he's like, nothing to see here. Yeah. Everybody go home. Yeah. And there's guys like on fire and stuff. Which, that scene does not age well though. Because it's all like Chinese guys.
Oh.
But
well, different time, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a funny scene if you just look past the racial stereotyping.
But Jackson, after seeing this amazing practical stunt, goes running up to the taxi, and of course, the bad guy has just disappeared because that's what they do.
Oh no!
They can do that. Jackson just gets out of there. He just dips.
Ooh, Action Jackson goes to Sydney's show for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the cool song with the lyrics, "Can you kiss me? Baby, undress me."
Yeah. Yay. Vanity is like a whole like dance routine that in this whole scene I thought was pretty lame. Kind of cringy. It was like awkward. Because she's like dancing or whatever, and she goes like walking out off the stage, and
she's probably high as hell.
Oh, probably, yeah. Like in the movie and real life.
Right. Like I was wondering how many times she's acting, or she's just literally just, I don't know. It's a hot mess.
Yeah.
Don't get hooked on drugs, Dongles.
Speaking of hot, not so much mess, Vanity goes dancing up to Action Jackson, who is clearly reciprocating the kind of energy she's putting at him. So yeah, that scene goes on for a little too long of Vanity just singing and dancing in front of Jackson. But after the show, Jackson goes to meet her backstage. And who's blocking the door but that Mr. E guy, the big bodyguard. And I love this part because Jackson just throws a punch at him out of nowhere, and dude just doesn't move. Literally doesn't even react to it.
Completely unfazed.
Yeah. And Jackson goes, "Oh, you're a big guy, huh? Like, how much do you weigh?" And I think he says like 280 or something.
That's craziness.
Yeah. And Jackson punches him square in the face too. And Mr. E just smiles. And Jackson goes, "If I hit you one more time, I bet you'll like run me through that wall back there." He goes, "Oh, I was thinking about it." But Jackson just runs and pushes this big guy through the door into the dressing room where Vanity, I guess like usual, is shooting up her ginormous needle of drug.
Drug.
And, Jackson rightfully so, starts calling her out on it. He goes, "Oh, I don't suppose you're a diabetic." But basically, he gets Vanity out of there. And Vanity is all like super high and is just trying to get some of that action from Action Jackson.
He's not having it.
No, he is not interested at all. And
listen, he will have a cocktail in the middle of the day while on duty, but he will absolutely not stand for drugs, okay?
Oh, absolutely not. No junkie. Does not stand for any junkie. Oh, I suppose we should also talk about Evil Peter and his wife.
Oh,
because that happened.
Yeah, at Mar-a-Lardo.
Yeah, back at Mar-a-Lago.
From a hard day of criming, he comes home.
Yeah, and his bodyguard hands him his gun. He's like, "Here's your 357 cleaned and ready."
I have in my notes as good handsome Chekhov's gun.
Yeah. Yes.
Because there's no way we would believe that he would have a gun unless we see a scene where he is handed a gun.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
He is super ridiculous. But he goes upstairs with a super nice, fancy, clean gun. And he's wondering where the wife is because she isn't around and the bodyguard didn't see her come in.
Yeah, he knows something's up.
Yeah. And he gets up to his room and she's in there already. She's waiting for him and she's very distressed. And she starts talking to him about what she actually heard on that phone call. And she's asking him, what's going on? Like, what's happening here? And he's denying everything. Even though she even just says, like, I love you, like, I just want to hear you say it. So she might even be okay with it. But while she's, like, hugging him, you see her hand slowly start to reach down for his handgun, but she can't reach it. And then some more conversation happens, and he's still denying it. He still isn't owning up to what he's doing. And she goes for another hug, starts like kissing him all frantically.
It's weird.
It's very weird. You can tell she can sense something weird's with this guy. And she goes reaching for the gun again, but there is no gun. I did really like that.
Yeah, it was tense, I guess.
Yeah. And bang, she gets shot.
And then he makes out with her.
Yeah, weird.
So he's also a necrophiliac on top of things.
Yeah.
Unless that falls under a slightly less banner. I know there's multiple levels to it.
I don't want to get into it. Yeah.
But then he takes the ring off of her and just lights up a smoke.
Just takes a seat. And the bodyguards come running in because they heard the shot. And he's like, well, the gun works or whatever to the bodyguard. Yeah, because clearly he does not care all too much. Because he probably killed his last wife too. It's nothing new to him. But this is where we get Vanity and Jackson in the car. And they overhear sirens and everything. And Jackson, being a cop, goes to investigate. And he turns on the police scanner at the perfect time. I mean, the perfect time to hear that the wife has been killed.
Yeah. And then, well, we get to see her dead boobs.
Yay.
Because her body's been planted at Action Jackson's house.
Yeah, that's rough.
Not a good look.
No, not at all. So Jackson and Vanity have to go on the run now because the police, they're after Jackson. They think that he did it.
Well, he's definitely a suspect.
Yeah.
There's no denying it. But I mean, if you think about it, he does have prior beef with this guy.
Right.
And then that guy's dead wife is at his house.
Right.
Doesn't look good.
Not at all. So at Vanity's apartment, she's all high. She's talking about how she has like the munchies. Which again, what drug is this? This is total just like dare, like anti-drug.
They made it all the drugs. It's drug.
Yeah, it's drug. So Jackson is like, don't turn on any lights, like stay quiet, like keep everything dark. And the phone rings, and Jackson's like, don't answer the phone. And of course, Vanity answers, being an idiot. And then the whole apartment just explodes. The whole thing just explodes.
It was our answering machine went off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like a pager in your pocket.
What's a pager?
Did you see all that crazy?
Yeah, the pager's exploding.
No, thank you.
Why do... What pager server just has the explode button? The big red, like, blow up all pagers button.
Listen, man, the amount of planning to go ahead to plant explosives in all those pagers and then detonate them simultaneously, bananas. That's quite the plan.
Yeah.
This is a very topical episode that nobody's going to really understand in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Because we'll probably be under some other new hellscape.
Yeah, it's always something new.
There'll be a 100 gazillion things.
I just wish it was aliens already. Like, I would deal with that. That sounds way more interesting than like, the economy's just getting worse. Great. I mean, it's just more expensive versus, oh my God, aliens are invading.
Well, statistically, though, the economy is actually very good. We have one of the strongest and most stable economies in the entire planet. But again, corporate greed.
Corporate greed, yeah. So, anyway.
Wow.
Jackson.
Let's talk about this fun movie.
Yeah. So, Jackson and Vanity leave. Vanity just really doesn't care that her whole apartment just exploded and that she almost just died.
We do get this cool guy at the shady hotel that they go to.
Yeah.
To hide out.
Yeah.
That guy working the front desk. That guy's rad.
Forgot his name.
He's got a cool voice.
Very cool voice. Nice, like, southern accent on it.
Yeah, he was in a few 80s movies. He was in Weird Science.
Never saw that.
I thought I showed you Weird Science when you were, like, super young.
Oh, well, and I don't remember.
Does not age well. We'll just put it that way. How about that?
So, Jackson and Vanity go up to the presidential suite, which is just a super tiny room anyway. And Vanity, of course, is complaining about not having drugs. This will be a trope or a running thing. And I like this part because she goes, like, last chance, like, do you want to smash? And Jackson's just like, no, and just leaves. I like that. That was pretty BA. He wasn't no James Bond.
Yeah, we do get some shirtless Carl Weathers for the ladies.
Yeah.
And any dudes that are there for it. Listen, I'm a straight man, but I was there for it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hell yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure I said that when he came on. I was like, damn. Huge man.
So they ended up getting room service at this divey hotel.
Mm.
And the guy delivering
yeah.
the room service is the purse snatcher.
Yeah, the thief.
There's also when Vanity gets turned down by him, she says, are you a queer or a cop?
Yeah.
And he says he's a cop. And I have in my notes, I'm like, that's fair. He is a cop.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to mark that down under any type of like weird slur. I mean, it was at the time. They've since taken that word back and own it.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, I don't know. I was like, whoa, hey, come on, Vanity.
Yeah, whoa.
Wow. Do you know that we're going to be watching this movie in 2024? That's not going to age well.
Let's try to cancel Vanity.
Too late.
Yeah.
But yeah, his car is fucked.
Yeah, that's right. They go outside and somebody took everything.
Yeah.
Like, everything.
We really need to discuss all the systemic problems that were occurring in Detroit.
No kidding.
Because when you have these things, and especially when you portray it in a movie, you gotta ask why.
No RoboCop.
No RoboCop. But yeah, that's okay. So yeah, this is when they go to the dive bar looking for Papa Doc.
Papa Doc. Yeah.
And balls in a jar, everybody.
That's Papa Doc.
That's Papa Doc. He's nothing more but a pair of testicles in a jar.
Mm-hmm. Seems that whatever Jackson has walked into, it is not working out for him.
No. And there's a really big knife. And then one guy says that it's hot dog time.
Yeah. They love cutting off wieners, I guess. But right as Jackson's being held down and they're pulling the big knife out, Vanity comes in and is just like, "Oh, that's my brother. He's like not mentally well, something like that."
Yeah, and then he goes on like a weird religious rant.
Yeah.
Which, man, that must have just stuck with Vanity, I guess.
Yeah, she was really listening.
She got into it.
I do like this part though because, for one, it's just a great time for Carl Weathers just to act all fun and goofy for a change in this movie. But he's like dancing around and stuff, saying like "Praise Jesus," all this and that, and the bad guys at this point are like, "All right, this guy's crazy. This guy's actually crazy," and he goes up to this one guy holding a glass in his hand, grabs his hand, and then just smashes the glass in his hand. Amazing. I've never seen that done before.
Yeah, then we get I just have fight ensues, but it's a fun action scene where he just takes out several guys.
Yeah. And then they just leave. They're like, well, I guess that was a dead end. And they go back to the motel, and the cool guy at the motel is just like, "Oh, yeah, I could have told you that guy was dead. You got to go see this other person instead."
The hairstylist.
Yeah, D the hairstylist.
Just because she knows all the stuff from working in the barber shop.
Yeah, I did like this though because the amount of exposition, like the amount of information she gives is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are they telling her while she's cutting this hair? It's insane. And also, like, I didn't really catch all this exposition. I figured that it was a little too confusing for what it needed to be, because it's like there was the group of killers, like the killer ninjas. They get a name too.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, it's never said again. It's a pretty basic name, and something about how they're getting like hired around or something. Either way, all I need to know: Evil Peter wants to have control over the Union, and he's trying to kill all the people that disagree with him, like we knew this entire time.
Yeah, but Action Jackson has to find out from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And getting the information from the hairdresser lady is fantastic.
Yeah.
I wanted her to be a little flirty with him.
Yeah, she was a little bit, but...
just because, I don't know. I mean, I guess that would just be a trope, but I don't know.
It's a fun trope.
Yeah.
It is a fun
trope.
Or
like, maybe they had some history or something.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's just always hitting on him.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I did like that D character. I just liked how excited she was to tell all this drama about like people getting murdered and stuff. Like even putting her own opinion. Like he asked her a couple of questions and she's like, "I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure," based off of what I've heard. Yeah, fun character. Easy way to get some exposition across. So after Jackson gets all that information, he goes back to Vanity at that like motel. And Vanity isn't there. She's gone. And so Jackson asks the dude in the front, and he's like, "Have you seen Vanity?" And he goes, "Nope, no, she hasn't left." And he goes, "Is there any dealers in here?" He goes, "Oh, like this is a fine establishment. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Yeah, in this room." Jackson kicks down the door right as Vanity is getting just about to get her fix of drug. And the dealer guy is like, "Come on, man, like she's with me." And it's like this grease ball.
Oh, this guy's so sweaty.
Yeah, whitey grease ball dude. And they get into a fight, which I'm surprised lasts as long as it does. The drug dealer pulls out a knife on Jackson, gets him up against the wall, but Jackson grabs the the needle of drug that's sticking into the wall and just injects it into the guy, which not very cool for a cop to do if you think about it.
No, I mean, if you want to view it as like it's a poetic justice thing.
Yeah. But Jackson then grabs this guy and does something amazing. He grabs him, throws him out the window, over the alley, and then through another window on the other side. I've never seen that done before. I've never seen someone get thrown through 2 windows like that. That's really wild. And of course, right as this dude gets thrown out the window, the 2 cop guys, the 2 patrol cops from before, had found Jackson's totally dismantled car, and we're just starting to figure out what's going on. And druggie just goes flying through the window above them, and they see Jackson. They go running up the stairs to go get him, and Vanity and Jackson have to jump off of like this third story window or something like that.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, like the top of his car is up for some reason.
He did put it up before.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. I did notice that.
Oh, because I was like, wait a second, is the top down? What's happening?
Yeah, he put the top up when he found it all busted.
Oh, okay.
Just so it could be there later, so they could jump into it. Which I'm also thinking, like, that's not going to break your fall. Then when you see him land, it looks awkward. It looks like an awkward landing.
Yeah, it's oof.
But basically, they get away from the cops, and Jackson has to convince Vanity to help him take down Evil Peter. And he does this by like driving incredibly recklessly and like basically threatening her life.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not a good part of the movie.
Yeah. Threatens her life until she agrees to help him. Not cool. Not cool, Jackson.
But I mean, well, I don't know. She's probably also high too, so.
True.
Not that justifies it by any means, but yeah, and then like it's nighttime and you know, she's going through withdrawals. So then they kiss, which is fun time, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Then we get a new dive bar.
Uh-huh.
And where Sid is seeking some Oliver guy. And then she tells him Peter is looking for him. And it says it's about tomorrow night. And also I'm wondering like why this important car guy is just getting hammered at a dive bar.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I mean, I guess like, hey, maybe that's where he used to go after his shift, and he worked his way up.
Yeah, there's a real made man right there.
So then she ends up like leading that guy out in the burly bodyguard, and he's around and he sees it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then, then everybody goes to the end of RoboCop. It looked like the same place.
Yeah. They also use the same place in like RoboCop 2, I'm pretty sure. This whole like random factory. Super easy to find a place like that, I'm sure, to shoot at.
Sure.
They bring that corporate guy there, and instead of meeting Evil Peter, he meets Jackson. Yay. And Jackson's just trying to figure out like what's going on. He's hearing something about something going on soon.
Yeah, they're planning on killing another guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And right as they're getting to Evil Peter shows up with his whole squad of ninja guys.
And a chopper.
Yeah. With the dude with the gun hanging out the side. Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do here, Mr. Jackson? Can't really do much.
Yeah, because the whole thing is like, with eliminating everybody, we find out that Evil Peter wants to take over the union too.
Yeah.
Like the Auto Workers Association or whatever they call it in this. And that way he can get his fingers into the government.
Right. Yeah.
Why would a rich businessman meddle with the government? Why?
And he also said something like I don't want, like, because Jackson made some comment about, like, oh, do you want to become president or something like that? And he said something about like, no, I don't seek that kind of power. I only like give that power or something.
Yeah. Let's keep in mind too that at this point in the movie, now that they've captured Action Jackson, he is chained up.
Yeah.
This is not a good look.
No. Well, it is a good look because he has his shirt off.
Oh, that is true. He's pretty sweaty in this part too. But I mean, the imagery is not lost.
Yeah.
And the power dynamics happening in this scene.
Yeah. And the bad guy explains that the whole plan is that they're going to have one of those evil ninja guys who kind of looks like Jackson. They're going to have him dressed up exactly like Jackson and have him murder the auto manufacturer guy at this party. And then as they fake a getaway by the fake Jackson, they'll swap out him for Jackson's corpse and crash the car, and Jackson will get all of the blame.
Yep, and they're going to have Sid overdose.
Yeah.
Vanity.
Yeah.
I guess we'll call her Vanity because that's what we've been calling her.
The whole, yeah.
And they will have Vanity appear to overdose.
Yeah. And Evil Pierre even throws in like this racist remark too, which just made him even more of like a total scumbag.
Yeah.
Like,
we already thought he was evil enough.
yeah.
Then you're going to make him racist too?
Yeah. I mean, I could have already guessed that he was racist.
Yeah, pretty safe to say.
Yeah.
But then people would go, how could he be racist? Because he was with Vanity. That's kind of how it works, though.
I have a black friend. I can't be racist. That's not how that works.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anywho.
We get Burly Guard surprise.
Yeah, this is great. So the bad guys are about to like torch Jackson. The crazy like.
Yeah, they're gonna
torch.
Hit him with a flamethrower.
Yeah. And Mr. E jumps down from like a story up, like this catwalk, just to land and start beating him up. He like pushes the flame onto the chain holding Jackson so it melts and he busts right out of it. Yeah, and we get some cool scenes of Jackson and Mr. E just wrecking shop.
Yeah, I like it when Action Jackson tells that guy to chill out and then hits him with a flamethrower.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really awesome. Great one-liner.
But it's kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah. Another good flaming dude, too.
Oh, yeah. I love a good flaming dude.
Mm-hmm.
We get grenade gun explosions galore.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like this because they got the one guy right up against the ledge. They got his grenade launcher, and Jackson just blows him up.
Yeah.
Just murders the guy.
How do you like your ribs? And then we get the fun transition.
Oh, that transition was actually really cool, too.
Where it's actually cooking ribs.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was good editing.
Yeah. And it's at the Detroit Mar-a-Lardo.
Yeah. Yeah, so this party's going on. Bunch of stuffy executive people there.
Action Jackson brings a date. He brings the purse snatcher.
Yeah, he brings the thief guy, and of course he's like, "Why would you want to bring me?" He goes, "Oh, you remind me of somebody." Who? Or he's like, "It doesn't matter. He's dead." Why'd you have to tell me that?
Old partner, perhaps. I don't know. It's just kind of like, why?
I think it was the old partner that died. Must have been. I don't know. We need the prequel still. Jackson becoming Action Jackson.
Oh, I don't know who you can cast at this point.
Yeah. A mountain?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Do you have the perfect casting choice for Jackson? Write in corruptedyouthpod@gmail.com.
Please. So, party's going underway. Jackson and the thief guy, they're just kind of sizing out the situation here. And as the supposed target is going up to the stage, we see the bad guy dressed as Jackson loading his rifle up, putting the scope on or whatever. So Jackson tells the thief to run, to go like running pretty much towards the stage. And Jackson goes running off towards the evil guy. And I don't know. This part was kind of weird because the thief guy from earlier, he's like running through this crowd for a long time trying to get to the stage. It's like taking him forever. Then Jackson swings on like these Christmas lights they had put up around the trees and somehow knocks the evil guy out of the tree. And he lands onto like a spiked fence.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, where did this fence come from all of a
Right.
sudden?
Right. Like I was really hoping we'd get like the final showdown, like Jackson versus Jackson, you know, Jackson versus this guy dressed like Jackson, you know, basically as big as him. Like that would have been cool, but nah. Spiked fence.
Yeah, but then we get all the goons and bodyguards and white ninjas,
Yeah.
and then all of the cool guys Action Jackson met along the way show up to help.
Mm-hmm. And I did like to, because the bad guy does get a shot off and he hits the dude in the shoulder. And immediately after that guy gets hit, there's so many corporate guys in this movie. I didn't care to learn any of their names. Oliver? The guy that they met at the bar, the dive bar recently. He gets up and he's just immediately like, Evil Peter did it. Evil Peter did it. And he gets a throwing knife like right to the chest immediately for it. And chaos just breaks out. Yeah, and then we get all the people showing up. We get Mr. E and the cops and yeah.
Yeah. And then, hey, when you know it, guess what shows up? It's that car.
Yeah.
Because Action Jackson just drives a car into Mar-a-Lardo to chase down Evil Peter.
Yeah,
it's pretty fantastic.
It's pretty sick. He hits the bodyguard, one of the bodyguard guys, and he rolls in there. He like drives it up the stairs.
Yeah, and Peter's just like, oh, I gotta overdose Vanity quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Because why?
Because she knows secrets. Because she knows things.
Listen, cat's out of the bag at this point.
100%. Yeah. Like the police are showing up, and there's at least like 8 or 9 dead people on your lawn.
Yeah, and I think this is just to get the location change to make it more intimate.
Yeah.
And the cool car driving in a mansion scene.
Yeah, that was really cool. And we get a nice fight between Jackson and Evil Peter. Little gunfight tussle, but then it turns into just pure fisticuffs and karate.
Yeah, they're just sparring.
Yeah, and you could tell that the Evil Peter guy does not know karate like that.
No, not really. It was just for that. They just had to like establish that he could fight in an earlier scene.
Yeah.
So that maybe you could think that he could fight.
Yeah.
Action.
Every time he threw up one of those kicks, I just imagine they had like a fake leg underneath the camera where you can't see it, and they just had some worker just swing it in front of him to make it look like he was kicking. And some guy just like smoking a cigarette, waving the fake leg around. Yeah, no, it's a pretty fun fight though.
Yeah, it's not long though, because it just ends in a quick draw.
Yeah,
they both quick draw on each other, and they both shoot each other.
Yes, but Jackson thankfully only hit in his shoulder.
I feel bad for that bullet.
Me too. I'm surprised the thing didn't like ding, just like bounce off. But thankfully, Evil Peter is toast.
And then we get a line from one of the cops, the guy who was Biff Tannen. He said, "This is one dead piece of shit car builder."
What a great line. What a great line. Yeah, and that's pretty much where the movie ends, because Vanity is just like, hey, I'm not doing any more drugs. Let's get married.
Yeah. I'm sober now. Let's kiss again. The end.
Yay.
That's Action Jackson.
Action Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have something to add, but I'll wait for my turn. Do you want me to just go first?
I'll do my rating. I'd say Action Jackson, it's a movie. It's exactly what I was looking forward to. I mean, to be fair, I didn't pick out this movie. You actually found this movie. I'll give you all the credit on that one.
But you did see the trailer for
yes.
it, and you said, "Wow, that looks really good."
And I remembered that for months now. Yeah, just like great 80s action movie. Granted, this is like later 80s, but still a great 80s action movie. Hunky hero, super evil villains you can hate. Boobs, explosions.
Not a lot of gun stuff, but enough.
Yeah. And I kind of like that Jackson didn't have a gun.
Me too.
Just makes it more interesting using your hands and all that. Yeah. Some kind of wooden acting from Vanity. I can see why she didn't become an actress, but otherwise, I recommend. I definitely recommend this movie. It's a lot of fun. Get to see Carl Weathers be a really awesome action hero.
Nice.
And for you?
Yeah, this is a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that you picked this movie because I had a really fun time with it.
Yeah.
And this is it's apparently how they got Carl Weathers to do it was like, hey, we want to do like a blaxploitation movie from the 70s. And for those people out there who don't know and think, well, that sounds bad, why would you exploit black people? No, that's not actually how it is by definition. The viewer is being exploited because the idea is you're going to see this black movie.
Yeah.
And they were usually just action movies that had to deal with evil white guy. We've got an evil corporate or like gangster white guy or something, and he needs to get taken out. And this movie follows a lot of those beats with kind of how you don't get to spend a lot of time with the villain. It's more about Action Jackson and when he goes around and talks to people, and you get a little bit more into his world.
Yeah.
And that's what was cool about it. And so they were kind of trying to do a little bit of a neo-blaxploitation in the late 80s and early 90s and into the 90s to some degree. And I think this really works in that respect. I mean, if I had any beef with it, it's more like the story elements over the action because, yeah, it does kind of like drag a little bit here and there. But all in all, I think it didn't feel like an and then movie either.
Yeah.
Because we talked about a lot of stuff this episode, but it's all kind of works. And it's a very streamlined movie, though.
It is.
It's like an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Perfect
in
length.
and out, and we've been yapping about this thing for almost 2 hours now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It knows it doesn't need to be smart or anything. It just needs to be fun. And that's what you get with Action Jackson.
Lots of fun.
And I wish there had been a sequel. I wish this had, I think it had potential. It made money. It had a budget of 8 to 10 million and made over 20 million.
There you
domestic.
go. Yeah.
Just domestic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see maybe Carl Weathers not wanting to do it. And around then, too, I guess, like, the action movies did kind of fizzle as a popular genre. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun.
Me too.
So it's been great to get back behind the mic.
I agree.
You and
I agree.
Talk about a fun movie. We've got some good ideas for the next couple of months coming up, and we might even bring on a guest.
Ooh.
Oh, who's it going to be? We'll make it a surprise. But yeah, it should be a good time. Stay tuned for future episodes. We don't like to tell what it is because every time we've done that, something happens to the episode.
Oh yeah. Curses it.
Yeah, we have like a weird curse because we used to be like, hey, we're going to watch this next. And then something bad would happen.
Yeah.
Didn't
Those
record
files
well.
will get corrupted, deleted. Oh.
Yeah. So we don't want that. But what we do want is for you to buy a t-shirt from our TeePublic store.
Yeah.
Because you want to look like a cool guy or gal or person or dog. You can put one on your dog.
Yeah.
We got baby ones. Put it
There
on
you
your
go.
dog.
Yeah, I love that we're just done talking about like, oh, he's evil, corrupt business guys, blah 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 blah. And then we're like, yeah, totally go to our TeePublic. We just want you to look cool. We just want you to have the best merch and look awesome.
I sell maybe 10 t-shirts a month, and it pays for my software.
There you go.
So
it's all worth it.
My discounted school student software. So there you have it.
Shout out to a fellow podcasters.
Yeah.
Too.
Also, contact us.
You know where to do that?
I don't know.
Really?
Where does one contact us, Brennan?
Well, you can do it through Magic Mirror. We have one of those in our house.
Gotcha.
Or you can send us an email at corruptedyouthpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place.
You could also drop us a line in the Dongle Den on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's our little private group. You could show some memes.
Post your memes. I don't look at them because I am 21 and people my generation don't use Facebook anymore.
You've popped on every
I
once
have
in a
popped on
while.
there. Yeah.
Once in a while. But it's just a good, nobody has groups, and that's what makes it work.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think the rest of it is just kind of a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But anyways, enough about that. I think we've talked enough about certain topics. So let's just wrap this up and say thank you to our listeners, the Dongles.
That's you guys.
Thank you for listening so much. All three of you. You're fantastic.
We love you.
Okay, well, it's getting creepy in here. Yeah, and like Brennan mentioned earlier, our fellow podcasters. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
For your support. And hang in there, Dongles.
Hang in there.
You stole my line. Why are you doing that?
Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth!
Eat a dog turd, Coach fans.
Numbers.
These photos are making me hungry.